Imagine this. You wake up one morning and your bank account quietly crosses a number you used to pray for. 6 figures, maybe seven. Enough that technically you don't have to worry anymore. And your first instinct is to tell someone. Post something subtle. Upgrade the car, maybe accidentally leave your brokerage app open when you're with friends. Look, that impulse, it's normal. But here's the thing. That impulse is the fastest way to destroy the very freedom you just built. And that's what nobody tells you. My name is Adam, and I'm obsessed with the survival mode brain chemistry that keeps us broke, and why reaching a single financial milestone is the only way to turn that midnight anxiety into actual breathing room. And today, I want to walk you through something that sounds paranoid at first. When you get rich, don't tell anyone. Not because you're selfish, not because you're scared, but because silence might be the most profitable strategy you'll ever use. Let me ask you something. When you imagine being rich, what do you see? Be honest. Is it the quiet satisfaction of financial security, or is it the Instagram post, the new car reveal, the moment someone says, "Wow, you really made it"? Most people don't actually want wealth. They want recognition. They want the signal of wealth. And those are two completely different games. One builds freedom. The other builds pressure. Here's something uncomfortable. The moment people know you have money, you stop being neutral in their mind. You become a resource, a shortcut, an opportunity, and sometimes a target. I'm not even talking about crime, that's obvious. I'm talking about the subtle stuff. The friend who suddenly assumes you'll grab the check, the relative who just needs a little help, the coworker who expects you to fund the group gift. It's rarely malicious, it's human nature. When people think you have more, they unconsciously adjust what feels fair. And here's the psychological trap. You'll feel guilty saying no, because now you're the rich one. Let's go deeper. There's a concept that wealthy people understand instinctively. I call it invisible advantage. The richest guy I know personally drives a 5-year-old Toyota, shops at Costco, wears plain shirts. If you saw him in line at a coffee shop, you'd assume middle class. Meanwhile, his investments generate more per month than most households earn in a year. Why does he live that way? Because he likes peace. He likes walking into a room and not changing the temperature. He likes not being analyzed. He likes knowing that if someone invites him somewhere, it's because they enjoy him, not his wallet. That's power. Quiet power. Look, here's where it gets dangerous. The second you start broadcasting wealth, you create what I call the appearance contract. You buy the car. Now your clothes have to match the car. Now your vacations have to match the clothes. Now your house has to match the lifestyle. You don't even realize it's happening, but you've signed an invisible agreement to maintain the image. And maintaining the image is expensive, not just financially, mentally. You start making decisions based on optics instead of logic. You stop asking, does this grow my freedom, and start asking, does this look successful? That shift is deadly. There's something else nobody talks about. When you stay quiet about money, you get data, real data. You see how people behave when they think you're average. You see who's generous. You see who's consistent. You see who respects you without expecting benefit. That information is priceless. If everyone thinks you're wealthy, you lose that clarity. Every interaction becomes blurry. Is this friendship or networking? Is this kindness or positioning? It's exhausting. Now let's talk practical strategy. Stealth wealth isn't about living miserably. It's about living intentionally. You can still enjoy your money. Travel, upgrade your home if it improves your life. Invest in experiences. But you remove the performance. You don't do it for applause. You do it because it aligns with your values. There's a huge difference between enjoying something privately and showcasing it publicly. One builds satisfaction. The other builds comparison. And comparison is financial poison. Here's something that might sting. A lot of flashy wealth online is debt, leases, credit, thin margins. There's an entire ecosystem built around looking rich. But looking rich and being financially independent are opposites most of the time, because actual wealth compounds. Status spending drains. Every dollar you don't use to impress someone is a dollar that can multiply. Compounding is quiet. Flexing is loud. Guess which one wins long term? Let me paint a scenario. You're at a reunion. Someone brags about their promotion, their new car, their upgraded condo. You nod, smile. Meanwhile, you know your portfolio could buy their entire block, but you say nothing. There's something deeply calming about that. You're not competing, you're not proving, you're just secure. That's the difference between ego wealth and financial freedom. Ego wealth needs validation. Financial freedom needs silence. Now let's talk brain chemistry for a second. Your survival brain wants approval. It equates social recognition with safety. Thousands of years ago, being respected in the tribe meant protection. So when you earn money, your brain says, show it, signal status, increase your social rank. But here's the twist. In modern society, signaling wealth increases expectations, not security. You don't become safer, you become visible. And visibility attracts pressure. Pressure to maintain, pressure to perform. That pressure slowly erodes the very breathing room you worked so hard to build. Real wealth does something different. It reduces noise. It lets you sleep better. It gives you options. Options to leave a job. Options to take a break. Options to say no. And none of those require anyone to know your net worth. That's the part that blows people's minds. Money is for options, not applause. Here's another angle. When you appear average, you negotiate better. Service providers don't inflate pricing. Business partners don't assume deep pockets. You're evaluated on logic, not lifestyle. The moment people think you have excess cash, the numbers change, subtly, consistently. Silence protects your leverage. And let's address generosity, because some people say, but if I have money, I want to help people. Good, you should. But generosity hits different when it's voluntary, when people don't expect it, when it's a surprise, not an obligation. Stealth wealth doesn't mean stingy, it means controlled. You choose when and how to give, instead of responding to pressure. There's also something incredibly underrated about living below your visible means. It builds internal confidence, not flashy confidence, calm confidence. The kind where an emergency doesn't shake you. The kind where you're not terrified of losing a job. The kind where your lifestyle isn't fragile. That's real security. And security feels better than admiration every time. Let me say something slightly skeptical. Marketing culture has convinced us that wealth is about aesthetics. The car shot, the watch close-up, the rooftop dinner. But those are props. Freedom doesn't need props. Freedom looks boring from the outside. It looks like driving a reliable car. It looks like declining social pressure. It looks like investing instead of upgrading. But internally, it feels like oxygen. So, when you get rich, don't announce it. Don't hint at it. Don't build your identity around it. Let your investments grow quietly. Let your lifestyle remain stable. Let your relationships stay real. And if you ever feel the urge to prove something, pause. Ask yourself, am I building freedom or performing success? That single question will protect you more than any financial hack ever could. Because here's the truth. The best kind of rich is the kind that doesn't need witnesses. It's the kind where you walk into a room and nobody changes their behavior. It's the kind where your bank account grows faster than your ego. And look, that's not as glamorous as a supercar reveal, but it's sustainable, it's powerful, and it's rare. So build quietly, move strategically, and let everyone else chase the spotlight while you compound in the dark. That's how you win long term.